Yeah, I can't stress enough how this horse just needs his head all the time. You know, as soon as you gather up the reins and he feels that contact on his mouth, he gets demoralised and gives up and doesn't want to try. And I do really understand where he's coming from. So lots of leg with this horse, lots of positive thinking about where you want to go, but no actual, little or no contact, except if you're asking him to stop. Now, whoa, 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 good boy. It's a good boy. We've had a good time, haven't we? Yes, and walking on again. Walk on. What I might try as a great motivator for horses like him is to go to halt and then fall to trot and back to halt and fall to trot, just nice and easy, and sort of get them working without realising they're working. Right, and whoa, whoa. You say, but I've already done that. I really don't see why I should do it again. And I'm making sure that I've got strength in my upper body so he can't pull me out of position. And I made sure he didn't put his head right down because I kept vibrating the reins. He always turns his head to the left. I'm not quite sure why he does that. But anyway, so walking on, walk on, and trot, trot. Yeah, good boy. I gave him a little tap with the stick that time on the wall, and not trotting for too long. And whoa, good boy. I just want him to, that's it, just accept my hand, and then I've let it go. Right, walk on, and trot on, trot. Yes, good boy. He's a little bit resentful of it, but when he sees what the plan is, he won't be. And whoa, whoa, boy. Off his head, walking on, so the voice followed by the leg, walking on, and trot, trot. Yes, and that time the head he didn't shake his head up and down, he just put his ears back. Next time he might not even do that. And walk, and whoa. Boy. Walk on, and trot, trot. Yeah, now only half an ear came back. You see, it's just such a valuable exercise. Once more, and whoa, whoa. Now he's stopping easier as well, good boy. And walking on, so the voice first, followed by the leg if they're not doing it to the voice. Walk on, and then the leg. And then trot. And that time no ears were back. Good boy, and lots of praise. And now you can just walk. He says, oh, thank goodness for that. So, yeah, that's how you can get motivate an unmotivated horse. Just do little things like that, not for too long. And what it makes them do is, if it's done right, they have to move from the behind and not plough forward onto the forehand. So you're actually working the hindquarters in a gentle, non-invasive way without them realising what's happening. So, yeah, you don't want to overdo anything. I mean, he's done it really as well as he can at this stage, so we're just going to leave it. Now he can be rewarded with a long range stretch and he can dawdle home. No, he's a good boy, Robson. I think he's enjoyed his ride. I know I have. He's certainly a patent safety. Yeah, I think he has enjoyed his ride, and I have actually given him little flicks with his stick, and he hasn't done any of the throwing the legs back, you know, throwing his head up, putting his ears flat back. So I think he's not as averse to the idea. You know, I don't think he thinks it's going to torment him, because that's not obviously something we would do. And I think he's viewing the stick in a much more positive light. I think he's just been whacked and held onto and whacked, and he's had no place to go, and so he says, if you're going to use the stick, I won't go at all. And so to get to that place, he must have had abuse with the stick to have that kind of an attitude to it. So instead of being terrified of it and running away from it like a lot of horses, he just goes on strike. So that tells me that people have whacked him but haven't let him go forward. So he thinks, what's the point? They're just hitting me for no reason, and you know, that is great sort of like miscarriage of justice with a stick. So yes, we have to think of other ways to motivate Mr. Robson. But I'm glad that I can actually. Wonder if I can use it now. So I'm just going to flick his side with it. Yeah, and he's walking up. Good boy. Good boy. And lots of praise for that. So he gets to realise the stick actually means something, and it isn't just some sort of cruel torment. Now let's just see what he does on the other side. I'll wait till the walk slows up so he can actually make his own difference, because if he can't make his own difference, the whole thing's been a bit pointless. So now the walk's slowed up because I'm not using any leg. So now I'm going to just use the stick. Yeah, now he's walking up again. Yeah, the ears came back, but, you know, it wasn't the sort of sullen, kick out, you know, real anger that there used to be. So it'd be nice for him to accept the stick as a support and an encouragement, and not to view it in such a negative light. But as I say, I can totally understand why he would be so negative about it, and we mostly try not to use it. But again, you know, to address something that's out of balance is a good thing. I like to use it a little bit just to show him that actually the stick isn't what he thinks it is. You know, it's got other more positive uses, and that there is a way out of the pressure of the stick, which is of course forward. Now I just want to say something else about the stick. Often, you know, like Robson would be typical, he's much better if you use the stick, say, on his right side, because that's probably the side, you know, Gabs has been, if he does apply the stick's probably been on the right, so he's like more happy, he's happier if it's used on the right, like that. You know, the ear hardly moves. But then when I move over to this side, you know, both ears come back, and he says, oh, I don't like it. You see, because you can erase the memories of things and rewrite programs within horses, you know, but you have to do it on both sides, because you get to the point where if we didn't get to the point where, yeah, he'd be fine with a stick if you used it in the right hand, but you used it in the left, and it brought back all the old memories. So it's like with horses, there's two sides to the horse. There's the left and the right, and the two don't always talk to each other. So what a horse may pass something on its right, on its offside, and then when you come back and it's then on its near side, it produces a big spook. So yeah, what you do on one side, you have to follow through and make sure to do on the other. So I've got the stick in the left hand now, and I'm just giving him a bit of a flick, but there's no sort of like malice, you know, because we like to be able to flick the horses and they don't actually mind. They feel quite supported by it, you know, and our horses are really quite positive about the stick, and I'd like him to become more like them in that regard, and not think of this stick thing as some sort of punishment containment, you know, like people have used. I know what they've done, because I mean, I don't need to know the horse's history, because horses tell me everything when I'm on top. What they've done is they've pulled on the reins, like he hasn't done what they want, so they give a big yank on the reins and a whack with a stick. So like the stick's saying go, but the yank on the reins is saying stop, and so of course ultimately, it's, you know, when that happens several times on every lesson, in the end they think, well, I don't know what they want me to do with this stick, but I hate it, and it's pointless. So yeah, so I'm giving him the odd tap, but I'm giving him, he can go. Like he can think, oh well, perhaps that does mean go, and perhaps it's not a nasty thing, you know, because I've got no anger with it, no frustration, and no sort of like, yeah, it's harmless, and he'll pick up on that, won't you? And his ears are hardly back at all. Right, good boy. I see our brand new broom, which arrived today in bright fluorescent yellow, which we have high hopes for. Apparently it's the best broom on the market, is now on the ground. I don't quite know what that happened. It's not where it should be. I can't wait to use it this evening. Thank you, Robson. And this broom's got a really odd name. Come on, boy. It's called a gorilla broom. I don't know why it's called a gorilla broom, but that's the name of it. And yeah, apparently the reviews are really good for it. So I'm hoping that it's going to be an all singing, all dancing broom for us, and that it's going to do the job perfectly. Right, good boy, Robson. Good boy. He looks nice and relaxed. Sometimes he looks a bit sad. Sometimes he just looks a bit... He's generally not as worried, but sometimes he just looks a bit sad, as if, oh dear, you know, life's hard. But you know, that's changing. That's changing. And good boy. Right, let's give you a little sponge down and then get your tack off. Come on then. Come on. Come on, come on. All right, good boy.